Welcome to the Inner Alchemy for February the 13th, leading us through to the 18th. My name is Lisa Richard, the owner of Loving Energy Recharge, and Inner Alchemy is a blend of the teachings of human design, the gene keys, and incorporating some tools as a more than existing lightworker coach. As our mandala wheel is turning, we are entering into what is known as gate number 30, the gate of desires. Now, this is our second of three gate activations that are down in our emotional awareness center. And I had to bring in this beautiful painting that was done by my daughter, Amelia Richard, in order to really get into this recording and connect to its energy. And the reason for that is our emotional center is a very young awareness center. We are here to learn about the power of our emotions, to embrace our inner spirit, our desires, to really learn that we are here to feel and it's okay to feel. A lot of times we tend to shut down our emotions or we deny ourselves to express ourselves to the fullest extent. Now, in your personal human design body graph, if you've had a chart done, and if you don't have your chart, you can stop by my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com, to create your free human design body graph. What we find in that emotional center is 50% of individuals have that white within their chart, which means that they have the capacity to feel other people's emotions at 200%. So you may be one of those individuals who was born into the world really feeling the power of emotional energy. And when you look back at yourself as a child and you have compassion for who you are as a sensitive, this is where we start to recognize the patterns of behavior where we start to manipulate the energy or try to control a situation so that you don't have to feel so intensely. So imagine a situation where somebody is using emotional manipulation to get their own way. Maybe you were playing with a toy that they wanted and they were crying and they were carrying on and you were having to feel that energy and maybe feeling the parent that was frustrated by that crying. And you maybe just naturally handed over your toy in order to stop the emotional energy. Now, although that feels like a beautiful experience, the truth was your body, your inner self, probably did not want to give up your toy. So that is just one example of ways that we tend to compromise the truth of what our body is teaching us because we cave in to the capacity to feel so greatly and we don't want to allow things to run its course. Now, the other 50% of humanity is going to have a colored in emotional center, which means we're here to create waves of emotion that is offered out into the world. So you will experience a natural wave pattern for yourself, just like the ocean has its rhythm. And you're not here to stop your waves. You're here to learn how to ride through the waves. So what we want to do is we want to learn when we are riding up really high on a wave, when we're riding down low on a wave, and find that neutrality point. Learning to find your neutrality point means that you are emotionally neutral. And we really want to find that point because making decisions when you are feeling really good and you're riding a wave high, you might buy an awful lot of things or say yes to an awful lot of things, only to then come down off the wave and go, oh my gosh, why did I do that? So it tends to come with a lot of regrets. So we really want to become more emotionally aware and either learn how we are caving in under the influence of somebody else's emotional energy, and or we are making decisions when we are not in the clarity of our own truth. Now, this is so important because this is the second of three gate activations that are really pulling energy towards itself from our root center, which is our center of pressure in the form of stress. So we are being stimulated right now to experience a lot of emotional stress in order to expand our human. So last week we had an opportunity to feel the power of the no. And the no was how the body just instinctively knows enough is enough. It knows when to put up a boundary. It knows when something does not feel right. And even though the mind tries to jump in and override that and say, oh, no, just give in. It's okay. They didn't mean that. Your body's screaming at you going, that was not correct. That did not feel right. So we're learning that the more we really lean into the wisdom of the body and what the body is teaching us, and we don't allow the mind to override it, but you listen to the inner self, your inner authority, your higher self, your connection to God, Source, the Creator, whatever that energy is for you, you're going to build a deeper faith in your ability to make the decisions that are correct for you and keep you in alignment when you're having to walk through the storms of life. So as we're coming into this gate of desires and Valentine's Day falls as part of this, this is our opportunity to look at our fear of the fates. And the fear of the fates is knowing we're going to have to walk through life. We're going to have many fated experiences that are just going to happen. Other people that we love are also going to have to walk through their own journeys. So we're not here to be afraid of life. We're here to learn how to surrender into life, to trust that there is a guiding force that is greater than us that will navigate the path. And it took me a long time with this painting hanging in my office to really notice the golden light that was right in front of the woman, the lady. I saw that as a representation of myself entering into those storms. So when you allow yourself to see the light that is guiding the way, you can use that as a process of purification. You're not going to move ahead until you have the clarity from that higher power that shows you the direction that is correct for you. So as we are facing a fear of the fates and we're facing the energy of desires as a shadow aspect, we're also here to learn that the shadow is not all bad. We are part shadow, part light. All things have to exist. So we look at our desires and what it is that we are really wanting. We look at that in terms of Valentine's Day and matters of the heart and matters of relationships. And you may be feeling the pressure or an expectation right now to either do something or to really want something. So this is an opportunity to lean into yourself, to connect with the energy of desire, to allow yourself to feel whatever that is for you. And then to ask yourself, what is it that you are truly desiring? What is it that you are longing for? What is it that you are trying to chase? And when you go deep enough into really examining what is coming up for you, that is going to bring you more clarity. So the emotional energy is really here to teach us to let go of our own expectations. Because it's when we have an expectation for a desired outcome that when that outcome is not met, that expectation is not fulfilled, well, then we crash and burn. Then we have an emotional reaction. So in the teachings of the Gene Keys, Richard Rudd says it beautifully, and he kind of phrases it as, it is our reaction to our expectation that causes our suffering. So if you look at your own emotional reactions, and we had a chance to start that process last week, as we noticed our needs and our reaction to our needs that were not met, We see how quickly we jump in to do something or say something or feel something before giving ourselves a chance to step back, take a breath, process, and then respond. So we are really young in our emotional awareness. And when you allow yourself to acknowledge that it is a young awareness center for us as humanity, and you see it through the lens of, we're all kind of like a bunch of kindergartners that is just learning to play in the sandbox. Yes, there's going to be a lot of emotional reactions that come out of it. But how you respond personally to whatever is unfolding is what really matters. We're not here to change or fix anyone else. You can't stop anyone else's fated destinies from taking place, and cannot prevent your own fated experiences as well. So we're really here to learn to embrace the human experience, to allow ourselves to have as many experiences as possible, because that's how we participate in life. And when we allow ourselves to have an experience without any expectation, but just to allow it to teach us, then we're also going to learn that we're going to make many mistakes. We're going to stumble and fall multiple times. We're going to have experiences that we rather not. But every single time we walk into that, we feel that, we open up to that, we learn and we evolve and we get stronger and stronger. So this is also part of a purification process. You started that when we went through gate number 13, the gate of the listener, a couple of weeks back, which was our opportunity to look to the past, to learn and see how far you've actually come. Well, this is the other end now of that purification process. So as you're looking at your desires, your expectations, your ups and your downs and everything in between, and how the pressures of these holidays do stimulate a collective feeling of worth, of self-esteem, of trying to be something, of an awareness of relationships and loved ones within your life, well, that's an opportunity now to get really clear on your desires, to see how your past experiences have created your future, to look back to that, to learn and appreciate everything that it has taught you, to remind yourself of the power of the strong no that comes from within the body, and to realign yourself by tapping in to the heart center, God, source, the creator, that energy, to realign yourself to walk the path through the storms of life that is going to lead you towards what it is you are truly desiring. We're not here to look for a quick fix. There is no how-to manual. There is no quick route to self-actualization. It's an inner journey that we each have to experience for ourselves. And that often feels to be a very powerful emotional experience, as a lot of us go through what's called the dark night of the soul. We have to face our true feelings. We have to face our experiences in order to learn, to grow, to forgive, to embrace that life is here to teach us. We cannot stop what is inevitable, but we can learn how to not so quickly jump in and react and compromise our true self, and learn to feel more grounded and supported by getting to know who you really are and not who you've been conditioned to be. So you may want to look into your human design chart. You may want to reach out for a personal reading to really get to know who you are. You may feel a calling to jump into Aquarius season or the upcoming Pisces season, as we're really diving deeper into the inner alchemy work and expanding each one of the gates as that mandala wheel turns to open those up for us. And we are so lucky that we do have these teachings and we have these opportunities to see the pattern, to know what gates are being opened, to understand the shadow energy that is being affected out in the collective consciousness, to know that it's not us personally, but it does feel very intimate. And the more you resonate as a sensitive, an empath, a star seed, someone who is so attuned to the energies in the environment, instead of letting it overwhelm you, now you can become the observer of how it plays out within yourself, how it plays out in those around you, and most importantly, how to lean towards the gift in the teaching to cultivate that more within yourself. So the gift in the teaching for us this week is all about lightness. When your body is light, you're literally letting the light lead the way. You're not being so serious. You're not taking things so personally. You're allowing yourself to laugh at you. You're allowing yourself to laugh with others. You're opening your heart to embrace life, its experiences. You're understanding there's going to be good days, bad days. There's going to be storms. There's going to be weather to navigate. But you can trust in life to get you through the experiences. So the more we come to learn and experience the precious gift of life, the more you are allowing your soul to expand. You're giving yourself permission to just learn. And part of learning is the freedom to make mistakes. We are all perfectly imperfect, but we tend to hide our imperfection. Well, can you imagine the beauty of allowing yourself to live in a glass house where everything is transparent and you don't have to hide because it just is what it is? And to have the beauty of looking at others and being able to see them exactly as they are? We spend so much time trying to hide the truth of our feelings, the truth of our mistakes, putting on a mask, trying to pretend to be somebody that we are not. And every time we do that, we end up drowning ourselves in our own expectations. And this may be the time where you're really feeling it's time to set yourself free. So this is a beautiful opportunity as we are approaching Valentine's Day to first and foremost love yourself. Use this as a celebration of love. Fill up your cup first and then allow that to pour out and share it with others. Don't have an expectation. Don't buy into what the world tells you it is supposed to look like, what you're supposed to do. Don't buy into that. Trust in your way, your self-expression, the many forms of love that are available, and most importantly, to really sit and acknowledge that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with you. So if you haven't heard it in a while, let me be the first to express, I love you. And we are so loved and guided by a higher power. We are in this together. We are learning to grow and evolve, and we can navigate the storms of life because that is how we do really find our foundation, and we surrender into being taught, being guided, and not having the expectations that we have to know all the answers. So enjoy this energy. We are in this for a little while. You have one more gate activation that is going to be drawing the energy of emotional pressure towards yourself. Then as we step into Pisces season, we are going to continue with the Solar Plex emotional awareness gate activations. So you're going to be mixing in from the element of air into the element of water and getting a lot of practice with allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to express, and really noticing how emotional energy feels within yourself and how it feels within the world. So it's a beautiful opportunity to not drown yourself in the sea of emotions, but to find the path of light to help you navigate through all of this turbulence that is out in the world, does exist out in the world, but you are safe within the world when you trust that the forces of creation know what is for the highest good of all. Namaste to each and every one of you. The light in me sees the light in you. Take care.